Golly, that's good.
I haven't found my first Blanton's.
Wow. That's different. I really like that. Peychauds or Peychauds or Peychaud. Yeah, now I'm gorgeous. Although probably fuzzier was better. Okay. So this is not what I expected. Howdy, howdy, howdy. It is Thursday and time for beautiful bourbon. And sorry I was a little bit late. I, for some reason, could not get the image to come up on the computer. I don't know. Why am I wearing an Old Forester shirt when we're doing Bulleit? It's a homage. It's a moment of reflection. Because it was on this day, 7 years ago, that Whiskey Row caught a blaze. And we might have lost Old Forester, that age-old distillery, downtown Louisville, but we didn't. And everything's fine. Whiskey Row is good to go. But that's why I'm wearing this shirt, to pay some tribute to that fire 7 years ago. All right, so Bulleit. Frontier bourbon, Frontier whiskey, Bulleit bourbon, Frontier whiskey. I like this bottle. It's kind of shaped like a flask. Not very expensive. You can find it on shelves everywhere, and it just happens to be one of my favorite sips. It's only $26.99 for this one. We're going to explore the OHLQ release as well. Michael's watching, Paul's watching, Kevin's watching. Hi. Sorry, I just, woo. So we're going to do this one, and we're going to do the OHLQ, and then I got some other ones I'm going to show you while this is resting. It's said that Augustus Bulleit started making Bulleit whiskey from 1830 to 1860 when he died. He made it for his friends and family, and then he died, and that was it. But a descendant back in 1987 decided to start it all over again and opened up Bulleit in 87, and it became one of the fastest growing whiskey companies in America. Not without its controversy, and we'll get to that in a minute, but it grew fast. And a lot of my friends have said, that's the one I want to drink when I come over to your house because I know that you have it, and I know that you like it. And I like it too. So there you go. I like it a little cooler than room temperature. It's a heavier whiskey, and I've tasted this a lot. Hey, Paul, I've tasted this a lot, and I like this bourbon, and I've just never given it its fair shake on beautiful bourbon. So we're going to do that tonight. It's a high rye bourbon, and so I like for instance tonight, I didn't want to put it in the fridge because I don't do that, but I did put it on the vent. The air conditioning has been running on, cooling down the bottle for about a half hour. It's not going to cool it down a lot, but a little, just a little, because I like it better than room temperature. It's a high rye. The mash bill on this is 90 proof, 68% corn, 28% rye, and only 4% malted barley. So it's not for everybody. It's not going to be that super smooth, but it's pretty smooth, I think. So the $26.99 is this one. In the state of Ohio, it's $26.99 for this one. The Bulleit Rye, this is also $26.99. This one has 95% rye and 5% malted barley. We'll just get out all the kissing cousins here. James is watching. Hey, James. How are you, sir? Thank you for coming to Beautiful Bourbon. This is the Blenders Select. We're going to be talking about this one in particular in a little bit. And then we have, this is the Batch 2 OHLQ Single Barrel. This is the batch, I think it just says release. This is the 2022 Single Barrel release. And then we've also got the barrel strength and the 10-year. Okay. So the 10 year is $44.99. The barrel strength is $49.99. The single barrel that I have here is $59.99. Or you can just get the regular one for $26.99. The thing about the bourbon is they all share the exact same mash bill. That high rye mash bill, 68% corn, 28% rye, 4% malted barley. Okay? All of the bourbons share that. Just that this is a single barrel. These two are single barrels. Barrel proof and 10 year. Okay. So that's the lineup. Get these put away. We're going to be trying the release number 2, the 2022 release, as well as the regular Bulleit. So let's get these put away. I'm not going to try them all. I want to be able to walk tomorrow. All right. Okay, so this has frozen on my phone, so just give me just a half a second to fix it. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. To me, it's a full-bodied whiskey, a little heavy. Again, I like it served a little bit cooler, so that's what I did. Let's get this one out of the way. They celebrated their 30th anniversary in 2017 by opening a brand new distillery in Shelbyville. So, I don't know why there's a staple here. All right, here we go. Yeah, like it's got a heavier tone to it because it's a high rye. It's not going to be one of those lighter whiskey drinks. I don't remember having a lot of fruitiness, but let's give it a fair shake here. All right. The thing I like about bourbon is, and this is going to sound stupid, but it's typical. Now, I do like bourbons that aren't typical. I like the ones that blow me away, but I also like the ones that I can sip into it and it's kind of what I expect. So Bulleit is going to have all the traditional notes that you're going to expect from your whiskeys. It's going to have your honeys, your caramels, your vanillas, cinnamon, a slight bit of that ethanol in the nose. I don't smell the rye. The rye is one of my favorite ryes. I do really like the bourbon or the Bulleit rye a lot. A little bit of orange zest there, just a little orange peel. Yeah, maybe even a little apple. So it's a simple bourbon with a complex set of notes for both aroma and palate. Let's do palate. See, giving it a proper tasting, I can't believe I haven't done this before because there's actually things I'm picking out of this that I don't think I've ever noticed in Bulleit. Now, it could be because I'm serving it just so slightly under room temperature, and I mean maybe a degree, not a lot. Room temperature in this house is about 72. It has been downstairs in my basement, which is a little cooler, and then I put it on the air conditioning vent for like a half hour to cool it down a little bit more. So this may be 70 degrees. But one of the first things I noticed was that orange zest coming over my palate. The honey was really nice. Cinnamon came over. The caramel came over. It's not a salty caramel. It's a It's not darker caramely notes like toffee or sorghum. It's definitely a little bit lighter, like a sweeter caramel, but not so sweet that you take a sip of this and go, wow, that's sweet. Not like that. So I just happen to like this. I happen to like Bulleit a lot, and I'm looking forward to trying the single barrel here shortly. It's just a great all-around bourbon. We got some watchers here. Some watchers. Bob is watching. Larry's watching. Hey, guys. I hope you're sitting down with your significant others and introducing them to Bulleit, because this is one that when people come over to the house, again, this is what they want a lot of the times. I'll set out a stash of different whiskeys, and it almost inevitably is the one that people grab. This one or Angel's Envy are the ones that people grab. There's some other stuff too. Unfortunately, the Old Forester, again, I'm wearing this shirt for those of you who are late to the show. I'm wearing this shirt because it was 7 years ago today that Old Forester burned. They were able to save the distillery, yay. So this is just a little bit of a tribute. We're doing Bulleit. I don't have a Bulleit shirt. So, yet. But this is just one of them. I mean, the Old Forester doesn't get picked very often. I don't put it out that often either, though. I really like Old Forester. It's very, very good. But Bulleit is chosen a lot. Trying to think of some of the other ones that get chosen. Really, Angel's Envy and Bulleit are the ones that my guests choose a lot of the times, especially if they're here for an extended stay, 2 or 3 days, something like that. Let's do a little water. I did not bring a glass over for ice. I have the ice, the elegant ice sphere, but I don't have a glass to put it in. You're saying, KC, that is a glass. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't have another one nearby, and I'm not going to get up. So we're going to skip. I don't want to skip the water. I'll skip the ice. I'll skip the ice. I'll put water in it. I'll skip the ice. All right. Again, just a little over a milliliter of water. Some of the ryes, like I really like the Bulleit rye. Other ryes that I really like that are kind of traditional, that come from the same companies as the whiskeys, like Knob Creek. I love Knob Creek rye. I have got a barrel strength rye that they did. Holy cow, is that good. That is so good. Oh. It's hot. It's a hot rye, but man, is it good. I have not tried the barrel strength of Bulleit yet. I haven't. I'm not going to do it tonight either. All right. Believe it or not, that is the first time I've ever had Bulleit with a splash of water. First. For me, it brought out more of the orange zest. Gave it more of a citrusy, fruity style palate. That was the thing that I noticed the most. If I had to go with a secondary, I'd say the sweetness of the honey came out a little bit more. Let's dive back in. Those are the notes that are shouting at me. Some cinnamon, maybe some nutmeg. I won't say that the caramel is still shouting at me. I won't say that vanilla's yelling at me either. It's there. They're there. Maybe the sweetness of graham cracker. It's very nice. I could drink that with water and be happy. I like it without. I'll tell you what, though. The heaviness of the high rye bourbon does get knocked down a little bit. You know, I put it on the air conditioning vent. Adding a little bit of water to it, particularly maybe some chilled water, not cold water. Again, slightly under room temperature, just a little bit chilled. This is room temperature. Just pick that up a little bit. The legs on this, even with water, are long legs. I'm still getting flavor out past the expiration date. Getting maybe just a hint of licorice, just a little bit, just a sweetness of it. It's good. All right, so the exact same mash bill. This is a single barrel. Of course, you know, Bulleit's going to be a blend. They get all the barrels together and then they dump everything on a certain date and they blend it together and they proof it down. And that's what this is. So OHLQ now for a couple of years has been going down and selecting a single barrel. My dogs are right under here. One of them is insisting on sitting on my foot and growling, and the other one thinks it's time to play. I'm inside. I was going to do this outside, but I'm inside because the neighbor started mowing. It's Thursday night. Of course they've got to mow. So I'm in here. This is National Dive Bar Day. So I thought about going downstairs and doing it from my bar. Here I am. All right. I'm a little bit excited about this. This is the 2022 Single Barrel from Bulleit. It's best on ice, you think? Kevin thinks that Bulleit is best on ice. That's rare. And I'm not giving it the ice trick because I don't want to get up and go get a glass of ice. Doggone it, Kevin. You make me want to get up and get a glass of ice, and I don't want to. All right. Daggone it, Kevin. I have no idea messing with you. You turd! Oh, you turd. You turd. I got up and got this glass for you, and there's something on it. Yeah. You're hilarious. Okay. All right. All right. You know, you keep this up, Santa's going to leave some mellow corn in your stocking. All right. So back to the regular. You have no idea. Well, you're about to have an idea, mister. All right? Jeepers creepers. I had hot dogs tonight for dinner while this is cooling down. And it made me think about that guy. I don't know if you've heard about it, the National Hot Dog Eating Contest. He managed to put down like 68 hot dogs. And he's been the winner, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in a row, something like that. I can't imagine. And they have, I don't know, 10 minutes to eat all that. So here he is, he's downing all these hot dogs, and all of a sudden this animal rights activist comes out and shoves him out of the way with a sign. He was going to like put up some sort of sign for animal activism. And the guy, without a thought, like manhandles him and knocks him to the ground. Like puts him in a chokehold and knocks him to the ground. And it didn't deter him. He still won. He still won the hot dog eating contest after having to beat the crap out of an activist. 68 hot dogs. He still ate like 15, 16 more hot dogs than his closest competitor. Overachiever. All right. We're going to find out about the ice now, Kevin, okay? Okay? It's actually pretty good over ice. Now, this is a sphere, so it's going to melt slower and cool the drink down nicely. It has less surface area than cubes, so the spheres are great for this. But it didn't kill it. There's been other ones that I've had a sip of, and on ice it just killed it. This didn't. It kept the flavors there. The honey really pops. The honey really pops on ice. Okay. Like really pops. It's a honey bomb on ice. Lester's watching. Hey, buddy. This is Bulleit on ice. Sounds like a Disney show. We're at Jolly Rogers in Port Clinton, out on the bike. Ah, nice. Very cool. I'm glad you have a night off. Be careful. People doing this on their phones while they're driving, they're not seeing motorcycles. They've never seen motorcycles, but now, even less. I have a motorcycle. I haven't ridden it in a long time, and I'm going to be getting rid of it here soon because all that texting and garbage, I'm not getting on a bike again. Kevin, I'm glad I tried it. I'm not glad I got up. I'm glad I tried it. Now, let's get to the single barrel. All right. Single barrel has the exact same mash bill. Let me give it to you one more time. It's 68% corn, a high rye, 28%, and 4% malted barley, which is one of the lower barley contents of the whiskeys that we've tried here. For me, the malted barley tends to mellow things out. One thing that Bulleit is not is mellow. It has a very bold flavor. It has a bold mouthfeel. It is bold. But it also has a lot of the same notes that you would typically find in a lot of whiskeys, although this is more complex than I've ever given it credit for, because I'm actually giving it a proper tasting for the first time. All right, this is episode 105, I think, or 106. So this is a single barrel. It's 90 proof. I want to double check that. I want to make sure that's right. I am wrong. It's 104 proof. So this is going to present itself a little bit differently. All right. Single barrel. Ooh, that's got chocolate on it. Not milk chocolate, more like Tootsie Roll chocolate. I don't care for Tootsie Rolls, but I like it when it expresses itself in something I'm drinking. I did have a Tootsie Roll wine once. That was nasty. I've had a milk chocolate flavored wine. That was good. The Tootsie Roll, though, no. No. Chocolate, it's a little nutty. Still got some of that orange zest coming through, cinnamon. It's a little darker. I mean, even the color's a little darker, just slightly. All right. It drinks like 104 proof. It's not too hot, not too timid. A lot of the notes I got on the nose I'm getting on the palate. Chocolatey. It's got an earthiness and nuttiness to it. It's not too hot. 104 proof. It does bring out some more bold characteristics of it. The other one that I have, is this it? That's it. This one is also 104 proof, but it's a different single barrel. Okay. This one actually has a slightly higher vanilla note than this one. I would say that OHLQ picked well. This is tasty. This is a very, very nice single barrel, and it is significantly different from the blend. They've done well. I like this one. Let's add a little water to it. And then we're going to talk about some of the controversies surrounding Bulleit. And culture is what culture is, and people are what people are. And sometimes when they smell blood in the water. So we'll get into that in just a minute. There's a couple different things going on with Bulleit and its owning company, Diageo. So we'll get into that here shortly. But let's do this on water. And I only have the one ice sphere and the one glass, so we're just going to put it on that for ice. I don't think the notes changed any. I don't think they changed any. It's just the same. It's chocolatey. It's maybe a little more buttery. I'll add that. Okay. On ice. Okay, while I'm letting this cool down, I'm going to get you into some of the controversy behind Bulleit. The first thing that happened is Tom Bulleit, the descendant of Augustus Bulleit, who started the company, became a brand ambassador in 1987, was accused of physical and sexual assault against his daughter. She alleges that there were sexual things that happened to her by her father, Tom, until about the age of 18. She's now in her 40s. They haven't spoken in years, and he denies it. So that is the first. It's so tough to prove this type of thing. It hasn't been proven either way. It hasn't been proven that Tom did it or didn't do it. Nevertheless, he stepped down as brand ambassador because it's not good for the company. That hasn't stopped me from buying the product, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Because there's another controversy that's more recent. In April, I want to get her name right. In April, Ebony Major accused Bulleit's owning company, Diageo, of severe and long-lasting discrimination based on race. Ebony is black, and I want to find, no, that's the rye. It's got to be this last one. The Blender's Select. She was the first black blender to work at a major distillery and knocked it out of the park with this release. Her future appeared dazzlingly bright. Diageo sent Major on a national tour, during which Major claims not to have been properly compensated for the overtime work she did, nor offered talent fees. Blender Select was a smash hit, placing number 4 on Whiskey Advocate's annual Top 10 Whiskeys list. When Blender Select was released, Major already was deep in mediation with the company about a year and a half after she first joined Diageo in 2015. She started to complain to Human Resources about discriminatory treatment from her team, including but not limited to differential treatment due to her race. So, the company has complaints against Ebony as well. They say that one of her cons was her victim mentality. She has lots of pros, anticipates needs, collecting samples from TG1 rye distribution run, reached out to Pam Soul for blah, 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 made Dickel 8 unasked. So there's a lot of pros that have to do with her, but one of the things that came back from the company was that she had a victim mentality, that it was never her fault, that all these different things. You can go to the website, whiskeyraiders.com/bourbon/ I'll put this up later, Ebony Major Bulleit Diageo discrimination lawsuit. It's ongoing because it just got started in April. But again, when you have a troubled company like Bulleit seems to be, and there's somebody that smells blood in the water, seems to be, I mean, maybe there's something going on at Bulleit and Diageo. I don't know, and we may never know. But I tend to think of it this way. There are going to be people out there that want to cause harm. Maybe over money, maybe over virtue signaling, maybe over whatever. Maybe it's true. Maybe the owners of Diageo treated her poorly. Maybe people on the workforce. She alleges that somebody was asking where her poofy hair was because she got dreadlocks. I could see where somebody would take issue about that, but I could also see where people would just shake it off and go, I didn't like him anymore. I didn't like it anymore. I wanted to change my hair. Hair is a major issue with a lot of black women. And I'm not using this as a race thing. It's the truth. Black women have trouble finding places that know how to do black women's hair. I learned this when I was on a film set in Sandusky. I went to a black, what is it? Not a barber shop, a black hair place. And all the customers were black, and they told me, why they go there and not somewhere else, because these people know how to do hair. Again, it was for a movie. I wasn't there to get my own hair done. Thank you. But anyhow, so there could be some victim mentality. There could be some virtue signaling. There could be some actual discrimination. Here's my thought on the whole thing. I like this drink. I like this pour. And there are going to be a lot of people who work at that company that are victims of everything else that's going on. Whether it be the daughter saying that there's been sexual abuse, to Ebony Major saying that there's been discrimination. That's between them. And for me, there's other people that work there that want to put food on their table. And you saw by the Heaven Hill lawsuit last fall, you know, when people want something from a company, they're not going to back down. And they're going to unleash all sorts of nasty stuff about that company, even if it's a bit, you know, beefed up a little bit as far as reputation goes, to get what they want. You know, they were telling terrible tales about being overworked and underpaid at Heaven Hill. Okay, maybe you were overworked and underpaid. Maybe you're just a whiny little bitch. I don't know. I don't know the truth. All I know is that I like the drink. It's always available. It's a good price point, and there are a lot of people there that rely on me spending my money there. I'm not going to let this place go out of business because there's families that rely on it. That's how I feel about it. Anything that's going on with lawsuits and whatever else, that's between those individuals in the company. I'm not going to punish the company for doing business. Matter of fact, the new distillery that they opened in 2017 is built on sustainability. They're trying to sustain the water, the habitat. They want to make sure that where they are is healthy. Doesn't do anybody any good to hurt the environment that they're working in. So, not a terrible company. And there are people in the company who have their screws on straight, so to speak. So that's just kind of the way I feel about it. I hope it's just outlying cases. I hope there's not widespread discrimination. I hope that there isn't sexual abuse. It's not going to stop me from drinking the bourbon. Now, if they go on the social campaigns and start virtue signaling things about politics, then I'll stop drinking their bourbon. Then I'll stop. But they're not getting political. They have their own internal struggle. I'm going to leave it at that. So, this on ice. It goes back to this one a little bit. Some of the typical notes, not getting the orange rind. There's still some chocolate there, some nuttiness, but definitely more of the original. The blended notes are coming out. Some of that citrus, caramel, vanilla, cinnamon. I probably let it sit too long. I probably let the ice melt too long. But it's good. It's good. Even in the time that I bloviated, talking about the issues behind this company, it mellowed out. The ice melted some, but it didn't lose itself. And that's a big problem I have with ice on bourbons, is that they lose everything. They just disappear. This one didn't do that. This one is quite tasty even on ice. So there you have it. A little bit of a controversial product. I am aware of this, and I probably went a little bit too long on it myself, but it is what it is. Sometimes, you know, when you get on social media and you start talking about bourbons you like, and you mention Bulleit, and somebody, well, you got to defend your choices. They're defending their choices by not drinking Bulleit. I can accept that. I can respect that. Be true to you. My truth is that I'm going to continue to drink it. It's a great bourbon. A lot of people depend on me buying it. It's on the shelf readily and is a good price point all the time. This one's the most expensive. This one's almost $30. This one's almost $70. So it's got to be good for me to want to spend my money on it. This happens to be really, really good. So I want to just say thank you. I did not bring up what I was going to do next week because I don't know what it's going to be. So if you have suggestions and you go through the pantheon of everything that that we've done in the last 105, 106 Bourbcasts, and the one that you want me to try isn't there, let me know what it is. If I don't have it, I'll find it. If I do have it, we'll drink it. Let me know what you want to do next week, Thursday. In the meantime, this is Thursday and it's National Dive Bar Day, so go out to a dive bar somewhere and enjoy a nice drink. Drink responsibly, only have a little before you drive again, or take a DD. But get out there and enjoy yourself and enjoy this little bourbon holiday. We will see you next week. I want to take a look and see if I'm missing anything. Hairdresser. Hairdresser, Roger, thank you. Hairdresser. Let's see. Paul says, good thing it's a trike. Okay. They're not looking for trikes either. We got whiskey waiting for it at home. For me at home. Seen the OHLQ pick the other day. If it's better than blend, I might have to give it a try. It's not better. It's different, Paul. It's just different. And Roger, how do you know it's a hairdresser? Getting your feminine side out here a little bit. Yeah. No, I'm just joking. No, Paul, so this is, it's different. The blend is tried and true. It's like a McDonald's hamburger. It's going to be the same everywhere you eat it. Drink it. This is a single, so it's going to be this one, the other one I have. This one's going to be different than this one. I haven't opened this one. I didn't want to open this one when I found out it was OHLQ, but I promised I would, so here we are. And you got to open them. You got to open them eventually, right? They're not just going to sit on your shelf forever, are they? Because if you're doing that, you got your own reasons. But I would say if you see the single barrel, it's a little more expensive, but I think it's good. I think it's worth it. I'm going to have another one. I like it. I like the chocolate notes. I always like it when there's chocolate notes. That's just unusual and fun. So, all right. So again, if you think of something you want me to try next week, let me know what that will be, and we'll get her on the table and open it up and give it a shot. So, thank you again for watching. I've been a little lax on the Instagram stuff, but I'm going to try to get back to it. That's Beautiful Bourbon on Instagram. You're here on Facebook. We also have the blog, which I'm just never going to get caught up on that, but I'm trying. I'm trying. That's at beautifulbourbon.com. You can also reach that website, by the way, by going to thebourbcast.com. B-O-U-R-B cast, bourbcast.com, or just bourbcast.com. I bought some domains. So if you go to thebourbcast.com or beautifulbourbon.com, you'll see the blog, and I've been pretty good about keeping all the videos up to date. The ones that I've put on YouTube, I'm a little bit behind because I had an icky one a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to fix it yet. That's the one, the Dickel 12-year. We did it outside, and the internet was just horrible, so it is what it is. But I want to say thank you for checking us out. Tell your friends about it. That would be great. And if you get a chance to try this, you really should. You guys take care of yourselves, and we will see you next week.